I told you I was gonna do it, fam, and I'm here. What's going on, y'all? And welcome back to the channel, Oscar Ramos Live. You and I kind of reminds me as TikTok Live, but it's super fun. It's super fun. We'll be here watching, listening. I'm so ready because I'm all ears, but I kind of know how it probably is gonna go. Anyway, I don't want to spoil anything, fam. Welcome, welcome. How are you all doing? We'll give you two some time to, let everybody know that we're here live. It's gonna be pretty cool, fam. What's going on? What's going on, fam? I see some friends. I see some friends in the house. Make the room loud, my fam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I just want to have a lot of fun, man. I just want to have a lot of fun. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty, guys. Okay, computer is good. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys. Consider subscribing to the channel and turn on those notification bells. That'll be amazing if you guys do that. And we'll go ahead and enjoy. Now, for those who are new here, I'm all about Trump when it comes to crypto. Do I believe Kamala Harris is going to speak about Bitcoin in this interview? Pre-recorded. There it is. I don't think so. I don't think so. But we'll be watching. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Just wanted to check. I'm not gonna put it on once, we can do it right now.
And I said, Dana Bash, you could make yourself big tonight. All you have to do is be fair. I haven't seen the questions, but they gave out a sample. In fact, she's going to be on later on tonight with it taped. It was a tape. We're doing it live.
Doing it live.
She's doing it taped. But
oh, Trump is having a town hall. That's so cool. Actually, I didn't know that.
She didn't look like a leader to me, I'll be honest. I don't see her negotiating with President
Welcome,
Xi
welcome,
China.
fam. What's going on?
I don't see her with Kim Jong-un like we did with Kim Jong-un.
Back with our panel. I guess Kim Jong-un looks like a leader in that estimation, but those are comments similar to things he said, obviously, about women before.
Sure, and look, I think that you are going to see him frame it this way going forward. I think he will do it at the debate. Women
Audio looks perfect.
For
Sounds good.
Just face a different level of scrutiny and a different challenge. And the weak label is often applied to them. It's going to be no different here. You are going to see him. I think that frankly his advisors would like him to do it more often than he is doing it.
Anthony Johnson, what's going on, man?
On military this week and his visit to Arlington.
It's starting in 2 minutes.
Whether he will stick to that in some kind of a consistent way that doesn't veer.
Let's have a poll running right now.
Open question. I'm positive he will have thoughts about this interview.
Do you think Kamala Harris is going to do more sit-down interviews? Or,
She absolutely should. She should be talking to local press at every stop. She can't do it. She shouldn't be doing an interview and have it be like a Bigfoot setting. The anticipation built around it. It gives bigger scrutiny to it. Donald Trump did it, by the way, tape interview with Dr. Phil just the other day. It's not really driving headlines. The more you do them and get in this.
Who will win the crypto vote?
This really, actually, frankly, strong and fair attack line that she hasn't been as excited.
Time to vote, everybody.
She could do interviews with local outlets in these battleground states. There are lots of ways to do it, but I quite agree that if you turn
Leandro in the house. What's going on, buddy? Welcome, welcome.
Then you actually raise the stakes for yourself. I also, I fundamentally challenge the idea that these things are minefields to be navigated. They are also opportunities to burnish your message. And the third thing is,
which, by the way, is what Donald Trump uses them for. For him, they are opportunities to burnish the message. It doesn't matter what.
Thank you, Jason, in the house. Let's go, baby. Woo! Thank you, my Jason.
He does not
Keep it coming. I'm just kidding. Thank you, bro.
from them. And I
Thank you.
think, you know, that is part of the test of running. for
In
president.
1 minute.
There are lots of different, you can't just do one thing. Every time you do something well, and she's done everything very well, the bar gets raised. And you have to keep clearing the bar. Obviously, the debate is one of the biggest bars, and that's coming up.
Smashing the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and turn on those notification bells.
The one that she's in, the one that she cast.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna be commenting on what she says as far as whatever, because it's the channel, I can say whatever I want. But we'll see. Hopefully she speaks on crypto. Well, no, she's not going to, right? But we have a 1 minute sneak peek about the Green New Deal and environment. And just that 1 minute, people are already eating her up, right? So we'll see what's going on. Get ready for some cringe. Get ready for some everything. We'll see what Tim has to say. Let's go.
Exclusive interview. with
It's on.
Ramos and Tim Balls.
Tonight from Battleground, Georgia, a watershed moment in the 2024 campaign, and you will see it only here on CNN.
All right. There it is.
Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris and vice presidential nominee Tim Walz.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Tonight, the new Democratic ticket in their first interview.
Hi, crew.
In the final sprint to Election Day,
1, 2, 3.
their top priorities for the country.
What would you do on day one in the White House?
The tough questions on their records.
The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already? What do you say to voters who aren't sure whether they can take you at your word?
Taking on Donald Trump,
People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face.
that fateful phone call from Joe Biden.
I heard there's like, it was like 18
and
minutes.
Their take on those viral
Hopefully that was-
images.
It's very
That was
humbling.
false.
It's very humbling in many ways.
I don't know as a father.
Welcome to 100 people of you. What's going on,
With
fam?
just days until early
Get comfy.
voting begins, a defining moment in the race for the
Is
White
it
House.
over?
CNN's exclusive interview of the Democratic nominees starts now.
The first one after weeks, 30 plus days. So let's go ahead and enjoy. Why not? Let me know if you guys like this one so we can do more. For sure. Smashing the like button.
We're live from Savannah, Georgia. I'm Dana Bash, and this is a state very much up for grabs. In between a whirlwind series of stops, I sat down with the Democratic candidate for president and her running mate today at Kim's Cafe here in Savannah. Inside, nothing was off the table, and you will see our interview in its entirety. The vice president's first
There we go.
standard bearer, responding to her critics and answering our questions.
All right.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
This is not where Vice President Harris thought she would be.
We're going to Georgia. Yes. 7th trip there this year for me.
A surprise nominee for president just months from Election Day. Set in motion after a stunning debate.
Look, if
He got destroyed.
beat Medicare,
Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
There was a slow start, but it was a strong finish.
And then an extraordinary decision.
I decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
What usually takes years of planning, coming together in a matter of weeks. After a historic nomination at the convention in Chicago,
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written
Let's go, Kevin. What's going on,
in the
fam?
greatest nation on earth.
Thank you, Massive. Appreciate it. Thank you.
the Harris Walz ticket
Giovanni in the house. Let's go.
with the shortest presidential campaign in modern history.
What did you hear from voters here? People are very optimistic.
We joined them on the trail as they visited the battleground of Georgia. Just 68 days from the election.
Madam Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for sitting down with me and bringing the bus. The bus tour is well underway here in Georgia.
You have less time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history. The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward. In a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation, and I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard.
What is it?
Which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life, to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on day one.
What about you?
Well, I'm excited about this agenda too. As I said, the idea of
guy.
inspiring America to what can be, and I think many of these things that the Vice President's proposing are things that we share in values. And the child tax credit is one we know that reduces childhood poverty by 1/3. We did it in Minnesota to have a federal partner in this. Unbelievable, I think, in the impact that we can make.
You talked about, you call it the opportunity economy. You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability.
Just by
One of your
Bitcoin.
campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of the pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. People, I mean, literally, we were all tracking the numbers.
Wow,
Hundreds of people
really?
a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis. When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America, and today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world. But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it. Which is why my agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging. What we need to do to extend the child tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative years. What we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers, so they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home, which is part of the American dream and their aspiration, but do it in a way that allows them to actually get on the path to achieving that goal and that dream.
So you have been vice president for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have
More?
done that. I'm very proud of the work that we have done.
Recover?
To knock inflation down to less than 3%.
Print
The
more
work
money?
that we have done to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. Donald Trump said he was going to do a number of things, including allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices. Never happened. We did it. So now, as I travel in the state of Georgia and around our country, the number of seniors that have benefited, I was in Nevada recently, a grandmother who showed me her receipts. And before we capped the cost of insulin for seniors at $35 a month, she was paying hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars a month for her insulin. She's not doing that
You
anymore.
maintain Bidenomics is a success.
I maintain that when we do the work of bringing down prescription medication
Biden.
for the American people, including capping the cost of the annual cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000, when we do what we did in the first year of being in office to extend the child tax credit so that we cut child poverty in America by over 50%, when we do what we have done to invest in the American people and bringing manufacturing back to the United States so that we created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, bringing business back to America, what we have done to improve the supply chain so we're not relying on foreign governments to supply American families with their basic needs, I'll say that that's good work. There's more to do, but that's good work.
I want to get some clarity on where you stand on some key policy issues. Energy is a big one. When you were in Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, "There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win
Yes or
state
no?
of Pennsylvania. Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020, that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
In 2019, I believe, in a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward. I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
What made you change that position at the time?
Well, let's be clear. My values have not changed. I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the climate. And to do that, we can do what we have accomplished thus far. The Inflation Reduction Act, what we have done to invest, by my calculation, over probably $1 trillion over the next 10 years, investing in a clean energy economy. What we've already done, creating over 300,000 new clean energy jobs. That tells me, from my experience as vice president, we can do it without banning fracking. In fact, Dana, I cast the tie-breaking vote that actually increased leases for fracking as vice president. So I'm very clear about where I stand.
And was there some policy or scientific data that you saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now?
What I have seen is that we can grow and we can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
Okay. Another issue, big one, is immigration. As vice president, you were tasked with addressing the root causes of migration in southern countries and
northern part of Central America.
The northern part of Central America that affects the southern border of the U.S. During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did
That's
the
a big
Biden-Harris
one.
administration wait
That's a
3.5
big
years
one.
to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border. And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border, and because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill. A border security bill that would have put 1,500 more agents on the border. And let me tell you something, the Border Patrol endorsed the bill. And I'm sure in large part because they knew they were working around the clock And 1,500 more agents would help them. That bill would have allowed us to increase seizures of fentanyl. Ask any community in America that has been devastated by fentanyl what passing that bill would have done to address their concern and pain that they've experienced.
So you would push that legislation again? I just want to ask
I
about.
won't push it. I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
Just one other question about something that you said in 2019 when you first ran. There was a debate, you raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized. Do you still believe that?
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who crossed our border illegally, and there should be consequence. And let's be clear, in this room, criminal organizations who traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws, and I would enforce our laws as president going forward. I recognize.
Is she doing that?
Generally speaking, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here, in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I've worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. As an example, that value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has
Smashing
not
the
changed.
like button,
I spent
everybody.
2 terms
Welcome.
as the Attorney General of California, prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed. So that is the reality of it. In 4 years of being vice president, I'll tell you, one of the aspects to your point is traveling the country extensively. I mean, I'm here in Georgia. I think somebody told me 17 times since I've been vice president in Georgia alone. I believe it is important to build consensus, and it is important to find a common place of understanding of where we can actually solve problems.
On that note, you had a lot of Republican speakers at the convention. Will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Yes, I would.
Anyone
Yes,
in
I
mind?
would. No one in particular in mind. We got 68 days to go with this election, so I'm not putting the cart before the horse, but I would. I think it's really important. I have spent my career inviting diversity of opinion. I think it's important to have people at the table when some of the most important decisions are being made that have different views, different experiences. And I think it would be to the benefit of the American public to have a member of my cabinet who was a Republican.
Everybody, what is going on, you all 300 of you? It's going on. Obviously, here it comes with more. They're probably taking a break, but what you guys in the comments right now, check it out. Of course, they're going to a break. Ads, commercials, you know, they have to eat. But no mention, of course, of crypto, no mention, of course, of Bitcoin. Do I really hope and expect they're going to be talking about that? Of course not. But let this be on the record that we're seeing and trying to guess and to know what their positions are. And I want to know about crypto. I want to know about Bitcoin. So eventually when she says that she's going to reset relationships, well, I obviously want to see that.
Your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
What's going on, y'all? Welcome. We got the Donald J. Trump. Oh yeah, that's coming September 10th. If I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be on ABC. Yeah, ABC News, September 10th. We're gonna be watching that one for sure, guys. It's gonna be super crazy. What up, y'all? Welcome, welcome. What you guys thinking so far? Whew. In her niche, she said, you love the mirror. You guys, thank you for the mirror perks and feedback. Appreciate you all. Now, so far, what's crypto going on? What's the the latest news right now that we can have a conversation? Well, there's many obviously that we've been keeping you in the know. Donald J. Trump earlier today at 7:40 something a.m. mentioned that he wants to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. Isn't that amazing, guys? It is, because that's the kind of person I want as commander-in-chief for our crypto, for our financial freedom as a whole. That's just what it is. Even if she wins, which I hope she's not gonna win, right? But even if she wins, I know we're gonna have a decent bull market ahead. I know. That's something I'll tell you right now. It's gonna be a lot of changes. It's gonna be a lot of different volatility, but bullish, guys, on us, bullish on us for sure. It will be massively affect the market regardless. It's true. I think a lot of us, guys, a lot of people here watching, we do support President Trump, right? And that is super cool. We find common ground on genius as far as the economy, military, and immigration, and many different subjects. If you don't really watch, or you're not up to date, with all the different news as far as politics, it's fine. I think a lot of people right now in the last 60 plus days that we have till election day, they're gonna be now starting to watch a little bit more of the news cycle. But from 2020 to 2024, immigration, guys, the economy, printing of money, and foreign crucial situation, Afghanistan, and all of the different subjects, terrible. And those are some of the biggest talking points for Republicans. And I've heard that, right? And it's difficult to come from that. That's why Joe Biden was going to lose easily, hands down. He was going to lose. After that debate, that was really the last drop. After that debate, they pushed him out. They told him, hey, you're cooked. You're going to lose really bad. We're going to go for Kamala Harris. And that's what she's doing. She's answering decently. She's obviously a huge 180 from Joe Biden, right? Obviously, she's younger. She knows how to speak, in a way that's not anything incoherent like Joe Biden. But I think at the debate, guys, I hope really that we're going to get some type of digital asset comment. That'll be really good for us, because not even at the Elon Musk Donald Trump interview or chat on X, they spoke about crypto. All right, guys, we're back. Let's listen.
Tim Walz. In just 12 days, Harris will meet Donald Trump on a debate stage in Philadelphia. And when I say meet, I mean literally meet. Would you believe they have never talked face to face? The only time they've even been in the same room was when Harris was a senator watching Trump's State of the Union address. Now it's Trump watching Harris on the campaign trail with money and momentum behind her and making her case directly to voters.
As voters are getting to know Kamala Harris, they want answers on how she will make their lives better. She heard that here at Sandfly Barbecue in Savannah.
Well, we're going to do the increased access to capital for small businesses. I'll be rolling out next week. Part of what we're going to be doing in terms of a tax credit.
On the trail, she talks about her experience, years in the...
Who's going to pay for that? That's the best thing, giving thousands of dollars for people to buy houses. I get, the idea. Here's the problem that I've seen a lot. She mentions about that bill to, fix the wall, fix the border, and put money there. The problem is that if you're not paying attention to Congress and to politics, and you're just getting those first sneak peeks from CNN, in that bill, not only they ask for voter money, they add other crazy different things, and both parties do this. Both parties do this. Let's continue.
I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning the core part of your identity.
Yeah.
Any
Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Let's talk about some foreign policy issues that would be on your plate if you become commander-in-chief. President Biden has tried unsuccessfully to end the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. He's been doing it for months and months, along with you. Would you do anything differently? For example, would you withhold some U.S. weapons shipments to Israel? That's what a lot of people on the progressive left want you to do.
Let me be very clear. I'm unequivocal and unwavering in my commitment to Israel's defense and its ability to defend itself. And that's not going to change. But let's take a step back. October 7th, 1,200 people were massacred. Many young people who were simply attending a music festival. Women were horribly raped. As I said then, I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. Far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. And we have got to get a deal done. We were in Doha. We have to get a deal done. This war must end. And we must get a deal that is about getting the hostages out. I've met with the families of the American hostages. Let's get the hostages out. Let's get the ceasefire done.
But no change in policy in terms of arms and so forth.
No, we have to get a deal done. Dana, we have to get a deal done. When you look at the significance of this to the families, to the people who are living in that region, a deal is not only the right thing to do to end this war, but will unlock so much of what must happen next. I remain committed since I've been on October 8th to what we must do to work toward a two-state solution, where Israel is secure and in equal measure, the Palestinians have security and self-determination and dignity.
Governor Walz,
Why you didn't do it?
To get to know you, I want to ask you a question about how you described your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom, whether it's Congress or the governor. My record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about our children being shot in schools and around guns. So I think people know me. They know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again, my record has been out there for over 40 years to speak for itself.
And the idea that you said that you were in war, did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English tone, my grammar is not always correct. But again, if it's not this, it's an attack on my children for showing love for me, or it's an attack on my dog. I'm not going to do that. And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never demean another member's service in any way. I never have, and I never will.
I just one other question, because again, this is all new.
Yeah.
This was not however many days ago. This was not on either of your bingo cards, especially yours. You had to clarify that you had said that you and your wife used IVF, but it turned out you used a different kind of fertility in order to have children. And then when you ran for Congress in 2006, your campaign repeatedly made false statements about a 1995 arrest for drunk and reckless driving. What do you say to voters who aren't sure whether they can take you at your word?
Well, I've been very public. I think they can see my students come out, former folks I've served with, and they vouch for me. I certainly own my mistakes when I make them. The one thing I'll tell you is I wish in this country wouldn't have to do this. I spoke about our infertility issues because it's hell, and families know this. And I spoke about the treatments that were available to us that had those beautiful children there. That's quite a contrast in folks that are trying to take those rights away from us. And so I think people know who I am. They know that record. They've seen that. I've taught thousands of students. I've been out there. And I won't apologize for speaking passionately, whether it's guns in schools or protecting of reproductive rights. The contrast could not be clearer between what we're running against. The Vice President's position on this has been clear. And I think most Americans get it if you've been through that. I don't think they're cutting hairs on IVF or IUI. I think what they're cutting hairs on is an abortion ban and the ability to be able to deny families the chance to have a beautiful child.
Up next, the moment that changed everything when Kamala Harris got a phone call from President Biden that he was dropping out of the race.
It was a Sunday, so here I'll give you a little too much information. Go for it.
Oh, you're telling me that she didn't know? You're telling me she didn't know? Because from what I know, the Obamas, Pelosi, and a bunch of other Democrats, they were like, you're out, baby. If not, we lose. What's going on, y'all, fam? Welcome, welcome. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notification bells. We are continuously watching and listening to this. I wanted to do it to get my latest thoughts and info from her right and in the right spectrum. As on the channel, you know, as we're approaching the election time, the election cycle, we're 2 months away or so. I want to make sure that my opinions, you know, are on point as far as what they believe, if any questions comes, stuff like that. Especially I'm here for crypto. I want to know exactly what their stance are on crypto. We know very well about Donald Trump, but she hasn't really spoken much about crypto and Bitcoin, right? And maybe DeFi or anything like that regarding CBDCs or stuff like that. We haven't really heard anything. Now, Robert F. Kennedy endorsed Donald Trump, and that's a big one when it comes to Bitcoin, guys. So you got the two major political figures for Bitcoin, you know, RFK and Trump. So that's what I care. That's why I believe with over 600 votes right now, guys, you're voting for Trump. Let me actually tell you what the percentage is, because I haven't seen it. It's 85%. 85% you guys say that Trump and it's gonna win. Kamala Harris knows nothing about crypto, you're saying. I see. It is what it is. I doubt she can spell Bitcoin. You know, who cares? No matter who wins, guys, whether it's him or her, we're gonna have a phenomenal crypto rally. That's something I'll tell you. We'll have a good crypto rally, and I'm ready for that. Yeah. We've been really active. I think a lot of my friends, content creators, and you know, the news outlets, everybody's just been getting more in tune, you know, what's going on in this few months left. And that's just what it is, right? When it comes to politics, when it comes to any updates in the war, Bitcoin, digital assets, any other news, like it feels like everything is going on, guys. Last week, you know, we got news breaking as far as the SEC. We got 24 hours ago the Wells notice from the SEC to OpenSea. Then crypto, you know, the capital of the world, beautiful, let's go. And I mean, am I the only one that looks at Bitcoin and we're still at 60,000? Everybody, the fact that we are not dropping like a rock, the fact that we're not getting our wallets destroyed, it's just, personally, I see it as a win. We have endured 3.5 years of nastiness and rug pull scams, bankruptcies. We've had some recent meme coin seasons, right? For Cronos, for Solana, for Tron, for many. But now it's time for Bitcoin to wake up. And that is going to make us rich. Let's continue, fam. It's here. Let's see what they say about that call. That should be fun.
Exclusive interview with the Democratic presidential and vice presidential nominees, Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. It's hard to believe it was just 39 days ago President Biden shocked the world via tweet. That's how we found out he was dropping his re-election bid, but before he tweeted the news, Biden called his vice president, and for the first time we are hearing about that phone call and exactly what Kamala Harris was doing when she answered. But we started this discussion with the moment that set all of this in motion, CNN's presidential debate, and whether President Biden was strong enough to lead this nation again.
No.
Vice President Harris, you were a very staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
Yes.
No, not at all.
Not
at all. I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He is so smart and loyal to the American people. And I have spent hours upon hours with him, be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room. He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment and disposition that I think the American people rightly deserve in their president. By contrast, the former president has none of that.
Wrong.
And so, one, I am so proud to have served as vice president to Joe Biden. And two, I'm so proud to be running with Tim Walz for president of the United States and to bring America what I believe the American people deserve, which is a new way forward, and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago, where there is some suggestion, warped I believe it to be, that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of where I believe most Americans are, which is to believe that the true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. That's what's at stake as much as any other detail that we could discuss in this election.
Because we haven't had a chance to talk, I'm just curious, staying on President Biden, when he called you and said he was pulling out of the race, what was that like? And did he offer to endorse you right away, or did you ask for it?
It was a Sunday, so here, I'll give you a little too much information.
Go for it. There's no such thing as a vice president.
My family was staying with us, and including my baby nieces, and we had just had pancakes and, Auntie, can I have more bacon? Yes, I'll make you more bacon. And then we were sitting down to do a puzzle. And the phone rang, and it was Joe Biden. And he told me what he had decided to do. And I asked him, "Are you sure?" And he said yes. And that's how I learned about it.
And what about the endorsement? Did you ask for it?
he was very clear that he was gonna support me.
So when he called to tell you, he said, I'm pulling out of the race and I'm gonna support you.
Well, my first thought was not about me, to be honest with you. My first thought was about him, to be honest. I think history is going to show a number of things about Joe Biden's presidency. I think history is going to show that in so many ways it was transformative, be it on what we have accomplished around finally investing in America's infrastructure, investing in new economies, in new industries, what we have done to bring our allies back together and have confidence in who we are as America and grow that alliance, what we have done to stand true to our principles, including one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I think history is going to show not only has Joe Biden led an administration that has achieved those extraordinary successes, but the character of the man is one that he has been in his life and career, including as a president, quite selfless and puts the American people first.
A passionate defense of the man who chose her to be his.
This was one of the shortest interviews, pre-recorded. Yeah, Donald Trump can easily take on a 1 hour plus podcast where he's getting more real, organic, and controversial questions and angles. He's done many podcasts, different takes, sit downs. Right now he's doing a town hall or something? I think so, right? Right now he's doing it. Yeah, this clearly shows, guys, to me, that it was just to save face for the BP. This, what she's talking right now, it's like everybody knew it. There's nothing new. I don't see anything new, like, oh, I'm learning something new. Not really. Not really. It's just kind of like to say, oh, we already did an interview. Come on, CNN. I mean, what would I have expected is CNN, of course, but now what we need is don't let her see the questions. Let her be by herself. Sit down with someone who actually is going to ask a question and see how she responds. That's what we need. That's what we need. Because if not, it's just going to be so calculated. Obviously, she had the questions before this. And it's pre-recorded. I had more expectations, right, when it comes to a longer chat. It's already 4 ad slots. Yeah, I think it's like a 20-minute interview or less. It's like a 20-minute interview or less. So it's not really a long interview. But you know what? Now I'm all ready for the debate. Sadly, it's gonna be ABC. Those are left-wing Democrats that are gonna trash Donald Trump and everything, and they're gonna make him suffer a little bit more, obviously, because it's ABC. But to my recollection, Kamala, canceled the Fox News debate and Fox News interviews and everything that Fox News wants to do, you know, and reaching out, she cancels. Is that really the person that we want? Well, I'm telling you guys, all my opinions here. I'm just using my brain. I'm telling you guys, we're just using our brains, and nah, obviously nothing about crypto. I was too hopeful, right? It is just 15 more minutes, maybe 2 more slots, and that's it. Hopefully 1, but I don't think it's gonna do it. So they broke it down in like, what? So far it's like 4, so maybe 5, 6, and that's it. Crazy. So what's going on, fam? Welcome. Don't forget to smash the like button, and I appreciate all your comments, your support. Thank you so much. So, wonder how they pre-recorded it was. Did they interview for 2 hours? No. It wasn't 2 hours. This was like a 20-minute, 21-minute interview. Yep, that's it. I think so. Maybe it was longer, but they cut it out. Maybe. That could have happened. Maybe it was 30 minutes. They cut out some 5-6 minutes, who knows. But they always do that. They always do that. They protect them. They protect her at all cost. But you know what? I don't care. Because I know who's going to win. It's going to be Donald J. Trump. It's easy. It's basic. Using my brain here. Trump has to win. He has to win. All right, fam. Let's see.
Kamala Harris and her running mate, who was supposed to be, if you listened to some experts, a big name, a prominent leader from a swing state, Pennsylvania or Arizona. But it is a little-known guy outside of his home state, where Minnesota nice is a source of pride. But behind all of that folksy humor and flannel, Tim Walz is far from just being Mr. Nice Guy when it comes to needling Donald Trump.
Governor, you obviously have spoken to voters all over your state for years.
Yeah.
What are you learning in a place like Georgia?
We're seeing an explosion.
I want to see the interview, not this one. Obviously, yeah, this was a short sit down. To be honest with you, fam, that's it. I already got my new perspective on this. This wasn't a real interview. It was. This is not the first interview. It is not. No. I wouldn't consider it. I'll tell everybody in my videos. This is not a first interview. I will not count it. She needs 1 hour long plus that there are not gonna be any interruptions, and you're gonna get questions from left and right, and she's not gonna expect it. And that's when you're gonna see how everything starts shaking out. That's when you're gonna see that.
Both about 2 standout moments, aside of course from the addresses that you both gave, but standout moments that were perhaps unexpected during the convention. You mentioned one of them, Governor. A moment that you shared, that the world shared with your son Gus. You were speaking, the camera caught him, so incredibly proud of you, so emotional, saying, "That's my dad."
Yeah, I don't know as a father I could have ever imagined that. I'm grateful for so many reasons to be on this ticket, but that moment, to understand what was really important, to have my son feel a sense.
You're telling me that we have inflation record levels. People cannot pay their foods, groceries. Border is in crisis mode. We may have more wars coming up, and they're talking about, I mean, like, really? You got a lot of things to talk about, CNN. Come on. Financial freedom and more. Yeah, this is not the first interview by far, fam.
It can be different. We can show some of these things, and we can have families involved in this. And I hope that there was I hope people felt that out there, and I hope they hug their kids a little tighter, because you just never know, and life can be kind of hard.
And last question, Madam Vice President, the photograph that has gone viral. You were speaking, one of your grandnieces that you were just talking about was watching you accept the nomination. You didn't explicitly talk about gender or race in your speech, but it obviously means a lot to a lot of people, and that viral picture really says it. What does it mean to you?
You know, I am running because I believe that I am the best person to do this job at this moment. For all Americans, regardless of race and gender.
You were selected.
But I did see that.
Selected.
And I was deeply touched.
Not
by it.
elected.
And, right, it's the back of her head, her 2 little braids, and then I'm in the front of the photograph, obviously speaking. And It's very humbling. It's very humbling in many ways.
Did she talk to you about it afterwards?
Oh, she had a lot to talk about. She had a lot. She listened to everything, and she listens to everything.
Give you your hot takes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Madam Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dana.
No way.
This was Vice President.
Nah, this is absolutely the worst. The worst. No, I honestly expected way more than it. No. No, fam. No, fam. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for getting my real thoughts and honest review on this one. I've seen many sit downs. I've seen President Donald Trump get hammered by all kinds of questions. And other different people who are way more qualified than her. That was just a chat. That was just a lunch break conversation. Now, this is why, guys, she's going to lose. That's why she's going to lose. And I'm so happy because it's great news for Republicans. It's great news for exclusive interview with Harris. What are they going to talk about? Now, everybody, if you're on the in the Trump train, this is great news. She was not really answering what I think we wanted to know. Just a few things, but not really much. I'll keep you updated with the latest as always, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. And joke interview, 100%. 100%. I thought I told you it was gonna be bad. I know, man. But yeah, man. It's sad for Americans at the end of the day. But hopefully during the debate, he's gonna crush, and we're gonna see the real. Because I know the real Trump. I know the real Trump. Everybody will see the real Trump. They're trying to hide her. They're trying to hide her like the same way they did for Biden. You're telling me that she couldn't handle a 1 hour long sit down like Trump has had, Biden just had with Jester Holtz. I think I'm mispronouncing his name, but it's the guy from ABC. Holtz, the guy. That was like a good sit down when he was speaking with Lester Holt. There you go. Just keep push him. And he was the one who pushed her on, but you haven't been to the border. And she's like, but I've been to Europe. Yeah. So anyway, guys, there you have it. You guys are the best. Less than 1 hour. It was like 18, 20 minutes. So y'all, thank you so much. God bless you all. Appreciate you guys stopping by. And I'll see you next time. Peace, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Bye. Let me go ahead and, before I leave, close the poll. Who will win the crypto vote? 84%, 7%, and 7%. Yeah, you can easily see it. Ciao.